guys, it's the Lord of Striking Thunder bringing you another Yu-Gi-Oh! Dueling Network deck profile. So I'm just going to go to my deck constructor here. That is the Ojama deck I made a long ass time ago. But today what I'm going to be showing you is my Fortune Lady deck. They are pretty awesome if I do say so myself. A lot of draw power and a lot of cool effects, so let's get right into it. Battle Fader, the field spell card, Future Visions, kind of whenever you normal summon a monster, it gets removed from play for both players. So Battle Fader is good for that in-between round where you don't have any monsters out. Blackluster Soldier, you don't run a ton of darks and light monsters in this deck. I think like 4 light monsters, one of which is Cyber Valley, and maybe 6 dark monsters, I think. And but I'd still run him just because he's really awesome, and he does fit well with this deck regardless. You will be able to play him pretty easily if you draw him. Cataplebis and the Witch of Fate. When your opponent special summons a monster, you can remove from play a question mark attack monster, which is basically any Fortune Lady, to negate the special summon. So, alright, it doesn't negate, it just destroys it. So it won't kill Stardust, but it will kill a couple other things. Cyber Valley. I do like this. I'm not talking to you. Cyber Valley is, it's okay in this deck. It's not terrible. But I do like the effect where you can target one face-up monster you control and this card and banish it to draw 2 cards, because that works really well with Fortune Lady Light's effect, which I'll get to later. Fortune Lady Dark is probably the main beater of this deck. It's level 5, and it gains 400 attack for every level that it has. And every turn it's out on the field, for every standby phase it's out on the field, it gains a level and 400 attack. So it's basically 400 attack every turn. Though it does start out sort of weak at 2000, its amazing effect where if you destroy a monster by battle, you can special summon a Fortune Lady from your graveyard is just too good to pass up, which is why I have 3. I have 1 Fortune Lady Earth. It's basically the strongest monster I have, and I do like it a lot. It's pretty good. It inflicts 400 burn damage for every level, well, whenever the level increases. So it starts out at 2,400 because it's level 6. So if I just need a little bit more attack power right off the bat, I'll often go for Earth. Fortune Lady Fire is an interesting card. If you special summon it using a Fortune Lady effect, so either light or dark from the grave, if you summon it in attack mode, you can destroy 1 face-up monster on your opponent's side of the field and inflict burn damage equal to the monster's attack. That is how you get around stuff that you can't really kill with, I don't know, Dark and Earth, really. And sometimes even Blackluster Soldier. He can usually get over almost anything, but in the cases that he can't, and you want to inflict a lot of burn damage, Fire is definitely the way to go. Light is the main monster in this deck. This deck would not work if you did not have Fortune Lady Light. If this card is removed from the field at all by a card effect, you can special summon a Fortune Lady from your deck. Any Fortune Lady. Doesn't matter what level, doesn't matter which one it is. So you can either, if you have another Fortune Lady out, you can go into Water and draw 2 cards. You can go into Dark or Earth and just start beating things to death, or you can go into Fire and you can burn a monster and inflict burn damage equal to its attack. It's really awesome. So that's why you have 3 light. Water is pretty okay. It's like the middle attack monster. It's not really powerful, and it's not really weak like some of the other ones. Like Light only has 200 attack when you summon it. But when you special summon it, well, there's another Fortune Lady out on the field. You can draw 2 cards. So it's pretty good. It's not terrible. Fortune Lady Wind. When this card is normal summoned, you can destroy a number of spell or trap cards your opponent controls equal to the number of face-up Fortune Lady monsters you control. I'm assuming that it counts Fortune Lady Wind in that number, so it's always going to be at least 1 if you summon it without any problems. King Caballo is really just for light. Basically, it's a spirit monster, and it goes back to your hand during the end phase. But what you do is you normal summon it, and then you can special summon 1 level 1 monster from your graveyard, aka Light, or I guess Cyber Valley or Battle Fader if they ever actually hit your grave. But basically what it does is you'll normal summon it, you'll summon Light from your graveyard, During the end phase, Kinkabaya will go back to your hand, and the monster that you special summoned using its effect gets removed from play, aka by a card effect. So you will get to use Fortune Lady Light's effect again. That's basically what this deck does. It abuses Fortune Lady Light like crazy. So that's why I have Kinkabaya. You could probably run two and wouldn't have many problems, but the card can be dead if you have no lights in your grave. Onto spells, I run a lot of spell cards, not that many trap cards, but it does focus. This deck does need a lot of spell support, and there's a lot of draw power cards. So first off, we're gonna have a Lure of Darkness. There's a couple monsters you can target for this: Kinkabaya, Dark, or Battle Fader. Just like the Blackluster Soldier thing. Normally, you would probably want to remove Dark, and that's for a reason that I will explain later. Book of Moon staple, Dark Hole staple. Foolish Burial is basically for Dark or for Blackluster Soldier or whatever. You can really just dump whatever. Basically, if you have Dark out on the field and there's a monster that you can kill on your opponent's side of the field, and you have this in your hand, you can basically choose which Fortune Lady you summon. So I'd probably still run it regardless of anything. Fortune's Future, that's why you want to run a Lure of Darkness. If you remove from play Dark, that's 2 cards. Then you can use Fortune's Future, select one of your remove from play Fortune Ladies, and return it to the graveyard to draw 2 cards. So potentially you can get like 4 cards out of just removing Dark and putting it back in your graveyard. So that's pretty good. Future Visions is a main card in this deck. I know I only run 2 because I felt like I was drawing way too many of them, and I did not need that many in my hand. Because you will draw lots of cards. Actually, I think after one turn I drew like 10 to 12 cards in just one turn between Water and Cyber Valley and all that crap. So you don't want to get too many of these clogged up in your hand. It's a great card for this deck because you can normal summon Light, and then it just gets removed, so you can just automatically summon another Fortune Lady. But I would not run more than 2 if you can help it. Maybe Terraforming, I don't know. Heavy Storm, you could even get rid of this Heavy Storm and just run double MST instead of single MST. It's really up to you. Sometimes you don't want to destroy all your back rows. Magical Dimension is another amazing card for this deck. I wish it's a little bit circumstantial, unfortunately. But if you control a face-up spellcaster, target one monster you control. And to be honest, you don't even have to tribute a spellcaster. If you control a face-up spellcaster, you can target one monster you control and tribute it to special summon a spellcaster from your hand, and then destroy one monster on the field. So essentially, you get to get rid of a crappier monster, summon a better monster, and then destroy a monster your opponent controls. So it's pretty good. And then Monster Reborn and MST, both staples. 1-for-1 is mostly for Light, possibly Kinkabaya. Well, no, wait, you can't summon Kinkabaya like that because you can't special summon it. I guess Fader or Cyber Valley, whatever. It just targets level 1s. It's pretty good. Triple Compulsory, I run this for Light because even if you can set Light and set a Compulsory, and when they're about to attack Light, you can just Compulsory it, bring it back to your hand, and despite it being face down, you can flip it up, face up, show your opponent that it is actually Light, and then you can summon another Fortune Lady. So I'm just going to make that clear, you can do that. I have double checked it, so it's a very good card for this deck regardless. Inherited Fortune, if a Fortune Lady you control is destroyed, you can special summon up to 2 Fortune Lady monsters from your hand during your next standby phase. This is a good card, but just for the sheer fact that you're going to be drawing tons of cards, and your hand might get clogged up with Fortune Ladies. That is possible. Sometimes you'll draw and you'll have like a couple of Fires in your hand. Fire's not very good in your hand. Water's not very good in your hand. So those are ones that you can just use it, if you can just destroy one of your Fortune Ladies, Inherited Fortune, and then get 2 of them next turn, so it's pretty good. And then Mirror Force and Solemn Judgment and Warning staples. You don't need an extra deck. I don't run any tuners or Ixies because the levels are constantly changing. This level 5 monster is not going to be level 5 next turn. They're not reliable for synchro summoning, and definitely not for Ixie summoning. So I would just avoid. You really don't need anything in your extra deck. You could run Starlight Road with a Stardust, but that's about it. You don't need anything else. But tell me what you guys think, and I will catch you guys all next time. Lord of Striking Thunder is out.